Hey everyone, welcome to Kempner Sports, and I am so excited because this is going to be part 2. I really enjoyed part 1, found it really insightful. Trevor Caverly is back with us, and we are going to be talking today about Pettersson and Hughes. And Trev, welcome back to the channel. Good to have you.
Great to be back. Feels like I was just here.
Because you were. Anyways, so let's just dive right into this right away. At this stage, with Hughes and Pettersson coming up with their contracts, they're rumored to get between 8 and 9 million each, and they're going to get they're the same. I think they have the same agent. Do you feel confident giving those two guys what we're seeing right now, 8 or 9 million each?
Oh man, it's crazy because I don't know. Like, if you had asked me this last season, I think it's a no-brainer.
Right.
I think, to me, Hughes, absolutely. And I never thought I would ever say this out loud, and I can't believe I'll probably watch this later and feel like an idiot for saying it. But I don't think Pettersson. I don't know. I think Pettersson's like a $7 million player. Like, I don't think he's a $9 million player.
Right.
I think he's like a $7 million player. And maybe he'll prove us wrong, and I hope he does. But and is he an elite player? I think he's an elite player, but he's not a franchise player, okay? And to me, those are very different guys. Like, I think that McDavid is a franchise player. I actually think Draisaitl is a franchise player.
They both are, for sure.
Kucherov is a franchise player. Crosby, all those guys, right? It's Ovechkin. You know, everybody used to say
Johnny Gaudreau is not a franchise player.
No, Johnny Gaudreau is a $7 million player.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
And totally. So I think Pettersson is on that line. I think Quinn Hughes has the potential to be a franchise player.
I think he is. I think he is, because if you think about it, his rookie season, he was 5th in scoring in the regular season and then 5th in scoring in the playoffs. Like, this guy, and even now on a bad, awful, terrible team right now, he's still him and Brock Besser, to me, have been the 2 best players for Vancouver.
Yeah. And the thing about Elias Pettersson is not any disrespect, okay? Or it's not any less like love for the guy, because I love him to death. I'll buy his jersey. I hope he's a Canuck his whole career. I think he's the Nick Backstrom of Vancouver, okay? That's what I think. Everybody
he's pretty good.
Had that back and forth argument when Ovechkin and Backstrom were just killing everything in the league for points, right? And the thing is it's not like Backstrom was scoring all these goals. He wasn't the goal scorer. Ovechkin was. Mm-hmm. And they were like Batman and Robin, you know? And I remember every fantasy year, guys would try. I had Backstrom on my team, and guys were trying to trade me everything. But now nobody talks about Backstrom really the same way. He's still a great player. He's still worth drafting into your fantasy leagues. But everybody will talk about Ovechkin forever. My kids will grow up, and they're, Parker's only 5 right now, and he'll hear about Ovechkin, but he's not going to know who Backstrom is unless he runs into some stat with him later. And that's the difference, and I think Pettersson, time will tell, and I hope he proves us all wrong. I hope he is just, the thing folklore is made of, that Canucks want to put a bronze statue of him out front with Roger Nielsen, right? But it just, I don't know. I don't know that it's going to be that way. I think he'll be insane, but he's $7 million right now, and I think you give Quinn Hughes 9, and the fact that they have the same agent is going to be interesting for the Canucks, because
I personally think that they're going to have to do that. They're going to have to overpay. I think you're right. I do not feel confident right now giving Pettersson 8 or 9 million a year, and I'm sorry. And so if that's the case, and you're not gonna be happy, maybe Pettersson's the guy that we try to trade. Think about what we could get for Pettersson. Now, what can you get? I mean, you got to make the right move. It's really hard to trade a young guy that good. But think about it. If we're not comfortable giving him $2 more million a year, Like, do you just give them those $2 extra million so you keep them and hope? But like, I'm confident, like, Quentin Hughes is worth the money. I'm not confident that Pettersson is worth the money at this moment. And I don't want to overreaction theater it, but think about it. In a full season or close to a full season, he had 66 points. And I know he's young. But right now, he's hitting the crossbar more than he's scoring goals by a landslide. So I'm worried about that. And
you see, and I'm not worried about it because he didn't have a sophomore slump. Okay. And that's something that's been talked about forever and ever. Guys go through a sophomore slump.
Junior jinx.
Edit that out. The reality is that at some point, every guy has a slump. Like, right. For him, it just happens to be at the worst time for him to have a slump.
Right. So maybe that's for me, like 16 games in, I can't be saying that. You know what I mean? Let's just but you start wondering, how can we fix this? And it's like, man, it feels like everything's on the table at the moment.
Yeah. And that's really it, is like, so, but then the other question that it brings up is like, what does it mean for a team that's struggling like this and we don't have depth scoring? Okay. Because this is what depth scoring is all about. Like, where Edmonton looked terrible coming into this season. They looked as bad as we did. And then I think they just won their 6th in a row. And the last couple games, it hasn't been the McDavid Draisaitl show. 4 or 5 games ago, they had that crazy night together. But they've had some depth scoring. And I think against Montreal 2 games ago, every goal was scored by a defenseman. Like, that's what teams need. And to me, it's like, that's what we're missing, is like these secondary guys that you hope are going to be something. They're not showing up when our big guys aren't showing up. And that's a huge issue for teams. And then our defending. So you mix in, no depth scoring. We're tossing the puck every which way and losing it. Tonight, we look good that way. I feel like there wasn't as many giveaways. It just didn't. They felt the team.
Well, they
tonight
looked better in the last game against Toronto, and then they looked okay tonight. So maybe there's a momentum swing. I mean, maybe playoffs is still out of the picture, but maybe as a team we start turning it around.
Tonight's game was a 1-1 game, truthfully.
Right.
Like two of those goals go in off of weird bounces. No chance for the goalie. You can argue that maybe the team should have played it better and the shot wouldn't have got through, whatever. To me, they played excellent. They played good. Maybe it's a sign that things are shifting. Maybe we get a good team. I like the next game's going to tell. Is this a team that comes out and they're determined now at this point and they start turning things around? Because all they got to do is they got to win 2 or 3 or 4 in a row, start feeling good about themselves, get the goalies hot, get some secondary scoring happening, and stop turning the puck over. And it looks like they kind of stopped turning the puck over a little tonight. Right. So I don't know. I'm disgustingly hopeful because I'm a hopeless romantic with this team, and I'm sure I'll cry myself to sleep many more times this year.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks so much for being on today. I think this has been really interesting, insightful. I think we're also really communicating our motion. Like, this has just been so frustrating for everyone, and we hope they turn it around. I think this is going to be a very interesting year, even to now. Like, it doesn't matter, even with Calgary, it just matters to the rest of the year. Let's just see what happens. This is still early. It's late for this season as a short season, but anyways. So thanks, Trev, for being on here, and man, so appreciate you coming on. This has been really good.
Well, I got a question for you before you let me go. What team is the worst team out of all these teams for us to not finish ahead of? In your opinion, what do you feel as Canucks fans? Like, what teams, like, we just gotta, like, to me, it's Calgary. I don't know.
Okay, so let's go with that. Markstrom is the difference maker right now, in my opinion. So as long as he's playing, it doesn't look like we're going to beat that team. I told Rob Pekka, or Pekka, I keep saying his name wrong. I've done it since college. Wrong, isn't that funny? I told him that getting Markstrom was going to be the thing, and Tanev was going to be a real nice help if he could stay healthy. And he was like, he's seeing for real, right? So I don't know. I think it's the Jets, honestly, because Ottawa were better than, but that's the only team we're really better than. But we looked really good against the Jets. And right now, it doesn't look like we can beat Edmonton consistently. We get destroyed by Toronto and Montreal. And Calgary, we should be beating Calgary. But it's the goaltending that's the difference. So until that changes, I don't know. That's all I'm saying. We're not making the playoffs. I don't think we're a top 4 team in this all-Canadian division. So I'm sorry. That's super negative.
It's true. I'm with you. Yeah. Let's start sending out boxes of Canuck tissues.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. Well, thanks everyone for being here. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for listening to us rant and ramble and, try to fix these problems. I think as Canucks fans, we're really confused. We're really frustrated. It's just been a painful year. We have been so terrible, but there's always hope. That's what drives the market, right? If you think about it, that's what puts fans in the seats. Hope, right? And so hopefully we can turn it around. Thanks, Trev, for being a part of this. Love having you.
You know what doesn't put fans in the seat? The NHL's blackout restrictions, which make 0 sense. And we're going to talk about that one time too, because it is ridiculous that you can't watch games outside of your region when it doesn't matter, because I would never buy a ticket anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thanks everyone. Hit that like and subscribe and share it on your social media. We'd love to be around and let your friends know about this kind of content. We'd love to have you. Peace. Go Canucks. Go.
Go Canucks.